Strategy number 1. The power of a name. Connect as many contexts as possible to your child's name and then the names of other family members. Here are some examples using my son's name, David. Model recognizing objects and places that start with the sound D throughout the day. David, please open the door. Hey, door, David. They start with the same sound. Or, that is a big dog. Whoa, dog, David. They both start with D. Model testing it out. David, dandelion, they both begin with the sound D. Then model with family members' names. One that happened to us when my daughter was younger was, in the car we would pass a mall called Mallorca. Eileen, there's Mallorca. It starts with just like mommy. After that, this became a favorite thing that she would point out every time we passed that mall for the next year or more. Then model making like sentences with the names of the members of the family. David likes dinosaurs. Grandpa likes goldfish. Mommy likes microphones. Some of the things that you say they like could even be silly things. David likes doorbells. Later, you can take it to the next level by modeling making silly sentences. David does dishes with the dog in the dining room during dinner. Or my kids really got a laugh out of this one. Mommy mashed mushrooms while munching on mustard-flavored marshmallows and listening to music. Mustard-flavored marshmallows? All of the examples from strategy number 1 can then be expanded to the other sounds of letters of the alphabet as time passes. For example, tell tall Tim to try toasted toast. Strategy number 2. Impromptu minute-long games. Model lists like this. I'm thinking of words that start with T. Tickle, table, tummy. When your child is ready to, he or she will begin to chime in once in a while, adding a word themselves like turtle. Until then, don't sweat it. Just model emphasizing that first sound. Another impromptu minute-long game I like to call I Wonder. If you see an object or an image nearby that your child can easily identify, like a cat or kangaroo, you can ask, I wonder what begins the same way as carrot, coin, and kite. Point to 2 other items nearby first to test them out. Bear? No, that starts with B. Giraffe? No, that starts with J. I know, kangaroo. Kangaroo starts with K. Bonus strategy number 3 is for children 3 years or older. Now, this is a bonus strategy because not only do you work on beginning sounds, but also letter names and letter sounds separately but simultaneously. This strategy does require a little bit of preparation in the beginning, but afterwards all you need is 5 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week. Put up a small to medium-sized alphabet with no pictures on it in a frequently used location. Mine was next to the kitchen table for the longest time. I took 5 minutes to make these alphabet cards by hand on half-size index cards. If you don't have space for this, the second best option is a notebook like this. Also, buy a package of picture cards. Or you can make your own cards, but that will be more time-consuming. The picture cards don't have to have words on them. In fact, it's preferable that they don't. It's also important that the name of the image be easily identifiable. Also, go through the cards and remove any cards like xylophone, X-ray, as well as cards that start with ch, sh, th, and v. Alright, now for how to carry out this strategy with your child. During a relaxed time of the day, I almost always did this during snack time and it worked marvelously, let your child choose 2 to 3 of the picture cards. It doesn't matter which letter sound they belong to. First, identify the name of the image. David, what is this picture? Right, it's a cake. Or if it's an action word or an emotion, make sure to label those. Once you've identified what the picture is very clearly, state to your child, cake begins with the sound K. In that step, you're beginning to teach what beginning sounds are. Notice we have not connected anything to the alphabet yet. We've just talked about what the picture is and what we hear. Now we're going to connect it to letter sounds. Ask, do you know what letter says K? Your child may or may not try to guess one of the letters on the wall. So now at that point, you're going to connect it to the visual letter that is on the wall. You're going to state, the letter C says K. You can either ask, do you know which of those letters is the letter C? And if they say no, go over and point to the letter C and say, this is the letter C. The letter C says K. Then go ahead and tape the card under that corresponding letter and repeat with the next card. After the first few days of this, you can test the waters in the following way. As before, identify the name of the object or image, but then ask, What sound does bike start with or begin with? If your child identifies the correct sound, you can continue with this pattern after that. Your child is already beginning to grasp the first concept of beginning sounds. So have your child go ahead and pull 2 to 3 cards each day and do the same thing. Keep doing this until there are 2 to 4 pictures for each letter of the alphabet, excluding the letter X. This is because the sound of X, is only found in the middle or at the end of words. So that's a letter you don't need to worry about. You can teach your child about it later on with ending sounds. As your child begins to learn the letter sounds, they may go up and touch the correct letter when asked which letter makes that sound if they still don't know the letter names. So once you have 2 to 4 letters for each card, you can choose to keep them up and continue adding more cards if you have the space for it, or you can take them down and start all over again. Even if it's with the same exact pictures, that repetitive action is going to take those letters and put them into long-term memory. Remember, modeling and repetition are king when teaching these skills. This is not a sprint, but a marathon. Give your child as much time as needed to learn all the letter sounds and names. In the meantime, you can also begin to teach your child to be aware of syllables, which you can find out more about in this video here. Thanks for watching and see you next time.